This morning we are going to start talking about a very important concept that the players think about, and it's from the Pirkei Avot. The Klal Gebura, who is talking about Gebura, somebody is a Gibor, who is a strong person, right? Because some person the strong person is like a warrior, somebody that can go and capture people and can be in the wrestling, and he can beat other people up. But according to Torah, in the eye of the Torah is a different thing altogether. So it says, Gevurah he kolal gadol beTorah. So this is a very important principle in Torah, right? Ezehu gibor hakovesh Yisrael. So in reality, who is really considered a gibor? Somebody that conquers his Yetzirah, right? Because everybody has a Yetzirah, and everybody, every one of us have different Yetzirah for different thing, and the real strong person is a person that is able to overcome his Yetzirah, right? ואשר מתגבר על יסוד כאיש להיות רס לכל מסור ובורח מן עביריו ומכל מידות רעות ולקיים כל דבר טוב בידי חסידותו. So fortunately the person that is able to overcome his Yetzirah and runs for all different mitzvot, which means every mitzvah that comes to his hand, he doesn't downplay it when it's something very minor, right, in his eye, right, he runs for it. So this is the one that a person, by doing so, that he goes and try to perform all the midot chasidut, which means something over required from him, and he does it.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary, yeah, which is not required for him. And he does it. בכל פרטיהם, דקדוניהם, במחשבו ודיבור ועשה, that he also goes through all the details that how he's supposed to even think. Nobody knows how a person thinks, what he has in his heart or his mind, and he tries to be always davuk b'Hakadosh Baruch Hu, always attach himself to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, b'dibur u'maaseh, thinking and talking and action. This is very important because if a person can really get to that madriga, right, he's got it made. Because this is the real avodah for Hakadosh Baruch Hu is that a person should be able to overcome his Yetzirah in different situations. You never know where a person is, but in every situation, if he can come to this maskana, that he has to be dabuk to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, b'machshava, b'dibur u'maaseh, the thought process, what he says and what he does. And in any situation with his whole heart and his whole nefesh and his whole in all money that he has, even if he's very rich or very poor, doesn't make a difference. He should attach himself to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. A parent should told me Gibor, and he should be patient. Patience always in the virtue. That person be patient in every way, in every moment, every situation, and that brings the person that it says it's tov megibur is even more better than a gibur, because once a person is patient, right, then he is able to
overcome
many challenges. Yeah, because in the Pirkei Avot says, even for the dayanim, he says when they want to give a pesach halacha, they say havem matun bedin. Be extremely patient before you give din. So that's patience is very important. So he should always try to do teshuvah all the way to his last moment of his life. That's very important. And he try to somehow do certain sigufim, which means make his life, his body a little bit suffer, like with the taniyot or sleeping less, or as long as he doesn't hurt himself that much. But the certain sigufim person could do that is tolerable, and he should do it, and those things would help him to get closer with Kol Asher Tofo Yisro Hu Kosho Gibor Gabor. Whoever that is able to overcome his Yisro, right? He is considered a גיבור. That's a real warrior, right? So it brings I think it's very Hasidut that I don't know if it's talking about here, but it's bringing to very Hasidim that there was one person, a group of people. They came and they came back from a war, and they were very happy that they were able to have a victory. And he says, one person come to him and says, "You really didn't go to a real battle. This was a small one." They said, "What do you mean? You had a big victory?" He says, "The real victory is against your own Sahara." So even though they went and they were warriors, they fought very hard, but the real one is this one. גיבור מכלב וברוך הנותן אלף כוח, Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives bless the person, Hashem gives a strength to person, שכל אדם כאיש כגבורתו, ואף על פי שהיצרה אש, ותחבורתו יעשה מלחמה ובכל יום ובכל שעה מתחדש מתקבל על אדם. So he says, even though this person, even though every day he has different challenges, there's no day that he has the same challenges, and we know from the story of David HaMelech that David HaMelech, he was able to overcome his Yisera with his one of his bad luck, which was Abigail, right? Which was Eshet Ish. He was able to overcome it, but later on he was. And you think that once a person overcome his Sahara, that's it. You are done with it, and you are going to go get ahead. But his Sahara is not like that. If you overcome there, he brings you another situation. So he brought the case of who? They brought the case of Bathsheba, and Bathsheba he was the Eshet Ish, and he had issue with that. So a person has to be able to always have in his mind that there are challenges always in front of him, and he has to be able to overcome them. So that's and we should be prepared to overcome. And he said, even though it is like a fire, right? There is Sarah, but and he tries to fight with you all the time, but a person could overcome it called Ish. ואישה אשר נדב ליבם אותם לנחם עמו בעזר משקי. So he said a person, if he wants to fight it with the help of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, he's able to be able to overcome all these challenges, right? He has to just remember, there are many things that they say it's called shikul dad. Many times a person have to weigh it out, what to do, what not to do, and make sure that he doesn't stumble in this kind of challenges. Which means if he had said Ishmael, he has to say always, it cannot say that I am going to be able to overcome it, but he said he has to say, I'll be able to overcome with the Zat Hashem. With the Zat Hashem, I will be able to overcome. Because by myself, I cannot do it. I need Zat Ishmael, right? And that's why he says, התהלות קשות ואחר כך הוא נוגע לו ויערוב לו ויבושם בו. He says in the beginning it is difficult because we have a concept in the Jewish religion that says, the Gemara says כל התחלות קשות. That's a ma'amar we have. Every time you want to do something right in the beginning, it's very difficult. It's a lot of challenges. But once you get the idea, okay, here, this is a Sahara, this is a challenge, this is a Nisayon, I have to overcome it. It's for men, for women, it doesn't make a difference. But what we're talking about is, if men, women, doesn't matter. A person has to know, the individual has to know that this is Nisayon, I have to overcome it. Then, in the end, he's gonna like it. It's gonna become a second nature to the person, and he's going to be able to do it. And he has to just have it in his mind, right, that this is a challenge. There's always a challenge in his life, and either it's a financial, either it's with the family, either with the issue of getting married, either with children, all of the challenges, and it has to always constantly get himself in the Chachamim, how to do, what to do, what not to do, in order to go and get ahead in his life, basically, right? And he said, "B'yotei tzarich lezarez خیلام גיבור שתופו יסרו ודוש בעבודות ומנסה לו so especially the cases that he's talking about is person has to be very careful. Certain things a person downplays it. It's like you say, okay, I'm doing this, I try to do all the important work, and some of the ones that are not such a important, consider secondary, right? He might think those are not so important, and he just says, you know what, it's okay, I don't do it. So he said, no, try to work on all those. So this is Gabber, the first me Abelov, become Rosh me Hakever. So he says a person should, is the expression he's using here, that a person has to, the same way a person has to get away from the kever, which means getting to the graveyard, which means a person should do all his best to live as long as he can, should do the same thing, not to do avera. That's what he's saying, right? כגון מטבעו רע בהרגל במידות רעות או בשתייה ובהרבה או בשחוק ובהקובעות או להזכיר שם השם והתורה או שבשבת שב או לעבד הזמן בהבל ולריק כאלו דברים רבים וכל כעושה בהם צריך למסור נפשו לפרש מהם. So he says if someone has a bad midot, right, and he gives a bunch of examples, right, like somebody likes to drink a lot, eat a lot, goes on the corner and talks a lot, people waste time. You should know these are bad things, right? And try to overcome it and try to overcome his yesara and use his time efficiently, right? Ish milchama omed al mishmar is like a warrior that is standing to guard everything בתחבולות וגדולים וסייגים להיות מחשב ושכר משרות ושכר עבירה כנגדו וכו'. So it says a person has to always read out that the person gets sachar. Whenever every single thing a person does in this world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give him reward eventually. Most of it is going to give being Abba, right? But the minor part of it, right? He's going to get the side benefit of it. He's going to get in this world. So that's what it is. I'm saying, a person, according to how much effort he puts in there, the more reward he gets. Like it is very hard for him, and he makes his effort like that. But like these days, like getting up, coming to Kore Chasot, it's difficult for everybody. I mean, the space is difficult. A person has to change his schedule to come in here and learn and Torah, whatever. Especially have the daily schedule and other things. I have to make all these arrangements to come over, right? This is a big thing. Baruch Hashem, out of to put this together. Baruch Hashem, it is a very good thing he started, and if people can do it and we can get up, it says the Shuk performs Sarah Agra, according to Sarah, pain that you go through to do it, you get the reward for it. الزا که ما باید احواه رؤول لعوین و بشه شمعیم اد کدی لقیم کی علیخا هارگنو. So he says a person should have such a strong desire to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he is willing to give up his life for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's the pasuk says ki alecha haraygnu v'achar kol hamon hatorach v'rachamon lo liboye melekenu hamrachem hu yirachem v'yazenu al devar kavod shemo b'nei sasera bo'edam k'v'ason. So he says, and everything that we do, right, we hope that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has mercy on us and be able to help us out in this fulfilling all his mitzvot and overcoming all the challenges that he provides us. Because each challenge that he gives to us, basically, he brings us a step higher spiritually towards him. So that's why he does it. So that's why we have to look at it. And by doing so, we're going to go up and up spiritually. This is basically, that's what the whole concept, and I think that every single one of us have these challenges, and we have to just work on it and realize that many things is nisyanot, and we have to just make sure that we have the right thing our mindset, that we are here in order to fulfill HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will and also sanctify His name in this world. And that's what it is.
Zagor.